Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Jeffrey Combs, President and Founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Take two on Two for Tuesday. I just got bumped off here, so I'm back on. Welcome everyone to Two for Tuesday, More Heart Than Talent, Facebook Live. If you're just coming on here, welcome. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you on the first Tuesday of November, year of our Lord, 2001. Scott, how are you? I just got bumped off, and I am back on due to poor connection. Welcome, everyone. It is my privilege and pleasure to be here with you. Jeffrey Feldman, welcome. Erica Anderson, welcome. Mark Weber, welcome. Yes, I did get bumped off for a few seconds, and I am now back live. My name is Jeffrey Combs. I'm the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, and all morning in between calls I've been reading this classic. And this classic is, I'll have to turn that around. So welcome everyone. My name is Jeffrey Combs, president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Kate Grace, good to see you. Henry, good to see you. Wojo, good to see you. Beth Devine, Scott Lucas. I saw Erica Anderson, Mark Weber. Welcome everyone to Two for Tuesday. I am honored to be here with you this afternoon. Topic for today's Facebook Live is the connecting factor. To be a connector, to easily and effortlessly connect, it is going to require a level of charisma. It's going to require a level of letting go of any anxieties about outcomes that haven't happened. You're going to be transmuting for energy from warmth, from friendliness, from openness, from love, from joy, from bliss. If you grew up in households where you were shamed, guilted, wronged, if you weren't good enough and you haven't addressed that throughout your life, then you're going to be in a mixed message, telecasting and telepathically sending a message that, please join me, but don't, I'm not good enough. And this happens to a lot of good people who start a business, not really understanding their suppressed and repressed feelings that they hold on to. And then they're not comfortable, not able, not capable to be able to have a relaxed interview, to move a conversation along. To be a connector is to be able to transmute energy of love, joy, bliss, charisma, enlightenment, consciousness, sobriety, a recovery, and it's a level of comfortability with self. And what you're transmuting is that I'm open to the connection. I'm lovable. I'm good enough. You and I can connect. And as you evolve into that energy, you're also able to discern between someone who wants to use you as a counterforce and someone who's looking to create a connection. So in life, we're looking to connect with people. Mastermind alliance is one or more coming together of like mind, and that ideally, that is what you're looking for. Our country and our world is very divided now. There's two sides and four sides, and these people are doing this and these people are doing that, and we're looking at the great divide. It's never been more divided. So in this great divide that we're in, it's our responsibility, yours and mine, to be able to create the healthiest relationships that are relatable, people that are in alignment with us. Now, I know most all of you, and I know that you're not seeking conflict. You're ambassadors of change. You're out practicing goodwill, but there are people who want to shame you, shame me, guilt me for whatever reason that they want to do that. And it's imperative that we learn not to personalize it, that we learn not to make it about ourselves. We learn to let go easily and effortlessly. And when you own a business, you're going to be responsible for the customers, the clients, the services, the benefits, the features, and the way you deliver them. So to be able to connect with people is to be able to write content, be able to attract people to you, be able to be warm, friendly, open, convey love, joy, and bliss. But if you're transmuting anger, hate, resentment, if you're coming from envy, jealousy, or abandonment, rejection, or if you're not comfortable with yourself, then you'll avoid the connections. And if you're going to build a business, a team, have customers and clients, it's going to be your responsibility. Bernice, good to see you this afternoon. Aaron, Heather, it's going to be your responsibility to let go of stories you hold on to and be able to create some warmth. I grew up as a teenager waiting tables, and I waited tables in junior college, in college, in my early 20s, and I actually became very skilled at it. And I became skilled at attracting customers who would come back and request my table. I attracted customers who would reward me with good tips. I attracted customers that would hire me to do jobs for them at their house. And I found out in my 20s that I was skilled at selling. I became skilled at selling and writing, and I wrote sales copy back in the day. I was an on-air personality, a TV personality, have a degree in that. And even though I was an addict and an alcoholic throughout my 20s, I had an aptitude to be able to attract people. It has been innate in me, and in my 30s in recovery, I've continued to enhance those skills to be able to create cultures, build teams in network marketing, direct sales, and coaching businesses. And being a connector, being able to connect, it's important you're also a finisher, because it's going to require integrity, follow through, word is law, and being able to communicate with people. So it's important in connecting that you hear what people mean, not say. You're able to let go of people easily and effortlessly, and you don't turn a conversation into a rejection. You're able to hear when someone's not going to get back to you. I spoke to a gentleman earlier today who said, well, how much does it cost? And let me think about it. So after doing thousands and thousands of interviews, I know what that means. I have no expectation on that situation. And the man really wasn't open to the connection. I could pick up on that relatively easy, and I let him go easily and effortlessly. And you can do the same situation and not feel that you made a mistake, got in trouble, said the wrong thing. And this is the repetition and experience required in conducting a relaxed conversation, a relaxed interview, qualifying someone for your time, easily and effortlessly letting go. Because if you don't, you will continue to stay in relationships that are dysfunctional, continue to stay in relationships that are unhealthy, stay in relationships that keep you in conflict, in the force counterforce situation. As you become more and more skilled at letting go, that's the separation between the feelings and the events that shape them. As you're able to create that separation, that distance, as you're able to look objectively at the events that happen to you and be able to, in honesty, in integrity, let these feelings go that you have held on to throughout the annals of your life. Now you're going to elevate your consciousness, which once again is this book right here, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness. And as you're able to scale that consciousness, move up, it elevates you, and that's why you access courage when you're not feeling good enough, when you're not feeling the energy. You have the courage to let go, the courage to address the situation, and you continue to build on that energy, that repetition and experience, and being able to ask the questions in a sequence is what creates the connection. So there's 3 ways you can ask a question. There's a way you can do it in small talk, fact-finding, and rapport building, and I cover this in depth in a 10 CD audio program called The Psychology of Asking. Lisa, good to see you, and thank you very much, Lisa, for hosting me on Facebook Live yesterday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you did not see that interview, Lisa Faye Pazanza interviewed me yesterday on the skill of letting go, and it is on my Facebook page. It's also on Lisa's. And we covered some of this content today about the connection. Good afternoon, Francesco. Good to see you, my paisan. So being a connector, there are a few people who innately, it's a skill for them. It's inside of them. That was me, and I've continued to enhance it. Now, you may not be a connector. It may not feel comfortable or natural to you, but it's definitely a skill that you can become skilled at. You can master it. You can master your emotions, and you can become very effective at the art of conversation, the art of the connection. And it's learning how to ask questions without anxiety about the outcome. So some of the stories and events that you let go of are going to be related to not being good enough, making mistakes, getting in trouble, saying the wrong thing. And as you're able to easily and effortlessly let go of these stories and move into the conversation, I was speaking to a client of mine, Ruth, today, and I was discussing with her how many people don't develop the reflexes to communicate with people wherever they go. And I was explaining to Ruth that I've recruited people in my businesses and my coaching business, my network marketing business. One of the best people I ever recruited in my life, I met in a gym. She was selling health club memberships. I went from a conversation to a qualification. She saw a presentation. She got started the next day, and 2 years later became a $500,000 income earner, and she attracted a woman who became a 7-figure income earner. In the old school days, that was called a 3-foot rule, people within 3 foot around you. And I could teach any of you to go into a Starbucks and strike up a conversation with anyone, anywhere, provided that person is open. But if the person isn't open, you let go easily and effortlessly. How are you today? And they look at you and they don't say a single word. Well, that's probably not going to be a conversation. But if you're standing at the cash register and you can tell that the person at the cash register is a multitasker because you trust your feelings and you're watching he or she and what they're doing, there's a level of warmth coming off of them, and you see the name tag, you can be able to use their first name and say, I couldn't help but notice you're a great multitasker. Have you ever considered owning your own business? If the person says, yes, I am, would it be possible for me to get your phone number and I can call you tomorrow? And so once again, this can happen in 30 seconds or less, provided you can let go of any anxiety about an outcome that hasn't happened. But if you're in this state of, I don't want to make a mistake, I don't want to get in trouble, I don't want to say the wrong thing, well, then that's what you're going to be up against. As you begin to separate your feelings from the events that shape them, as you're able to easily and effortlessly let go, then you are no longer the mind-body connection to the events that shape the feelings. And as you begin to develop your ability to connect, so Aaron says someone else's closed door won't close mine. That is correct. So that's what you learn to do. You learn to easily. Jeffrey Combs, take 3. So my humble apologies. I am experiencing a poor signal. I'm in my home today on a Verizon line. So as you come back on, I'll finish up here in the next few minutes. But thank you very much for being here this afternoon. So connecting is a skill. And as you become skilled at the art of the connection, as you become skilled at asking the questions in sequence, as you become skilled at interviewing prospects, you will be able to easily and effortlessly create conversation anywhere you go. And as you develop these skills, you become a master asker. You become a master connector. Corey, thank you for coming back on. Aaron, thank you for coming back on. My humble apologies. I'm experiencing technical difficulties in my area with a poor signal as I sat at my desk. So I'm on a Verizon line right here today. Some of you are becoming skilled at this skill already. Some of you are becoming much more improved in asking the questions in a sequence, conducting a relaxed interview, being able to communicate. So this is going to show up in dating, mating, prospecting, building a business, hiring contractors, vendors, service contractors, any multitude of situations, because being able to connect with people is being able to find common points of interest. I ask people where they're from, I ask them where they grew up, where they went to college, any situation that can assist them to create the connection. And you can also tell through eye contact, body language, energy that's being transmuted, whether they're open to receive or whether they're not. Once on an airplane, I had a gentleman start conversing with me. He asked me what I did for a career. I told him I was a success addiction coach, and he let me know that he was looking for one. Well, I started asking him a series of questions, had a great conversation with him, and when we landed in Sacramento from Phoenix, I flew from Sky Harbor Airport to Sacramento. He hired me to be his coach. I'd just spoken that Saturday. I had a form with me in my travel bag. I pulled it out, had my credit card machine with me, and closed the sale right there. The guy hired me to be his coach. I was his coach for 1 year. He came to Breakthroughs to Success in 2012. I mean, that all happened by design. I have sat in airplanes next to the drummer from Pablo Cruz, the band Live, who did the Grammy Award-winning double CD Throwing Copper. I've sat next to an executive from the San Francisco 49ers. Nancy Pelosi once set one seat in front of me and struck up a conversation with me when we landed and asked me to get her bag down at the San Francisco airport on a flight from Palm Springs. I mean, I have sat next to Clifton Davis, Trent Dilfer on airplanes and had conversations with them. I once sat next to a friend of Tommy Hilfiger, Ralph Lauren, Calvin Klein, and he informed me that all three of those companies were bought by Van Heusen, and he grew up with them in Brooklyn. I mean, I have sat next to some exceptional people where I struck up conversation. I've also sat on thousands or hundreds of flights where I didn't say a single word because the person wasn't open. There was a head nod, a hello, or the person put their head down or put their headphones on. And if there's a smile, there's warmth, there's transmutation of energy, there's a possibility for a connection. And the more skilled you become at the connection, the more skilled you become at asking these questions in a sequence, the higher the probability is there possibility of a connection. So in the laws of attraction, the science of attraction, I was just explaining this to my client right before our call, that there's an 80-20 rule, is that everyone that shows up in your life is not a byproduct of your attraction, but at least 20% of them are. And the more you understand who to connect with, and the more you understand who to let go of, then you're changing a lot of the trauma bond that you grew up in. But if you continue to attract the same situation over and over to fulfill the same set of feelings, to fulfill your disappointment, to create the payoff, that's where you start to let go. So you want to let go of anxiety about the outcome that hasn't happened. You want to be able to let go of anxiety about asking the questions in a sequence. Let go of the anxiety about making mistakes, getting in trouble, saying the wrong thing, being rejected, being abandoned. The stories that you hold on to are what hinder you from creating the great connections. As I stated earlier, I have a 10 CD audio program called The Psychology of Asking. If you're a coaching client of mine, you already have that product. And to become a master asker, a connector, is to learn the 5 to 15 words. That's 5 to 15 words that end with a question mark or a period. And as you become skilled at asking the questions, and so you ask questions that are leading questions, and you ask the questions about the outcome. You learn to lead the conversation by asking the questions. You don't lead a conversation by doing all the talking or dominating the conversation. You're able to fact find, rapport build, and be able to create interest by being able to ask the questions. Fact find, rapport build, and small talk. Those are and you want to be able to get your point across in 30 seconds or less, and you're able to do that by articulating your feelings, qualifying buyers, qualifying people. If you're seeking a soulmate, you want to be really clear on what it is you're looking for. If you're seeking a coach, you want to be really clear on what you're looking for. If you're seeking a teammate to join your team, you want to have clarity and have a good idea about who you're looking for. That's criteria. You have boundaries. You have clarity about that. You have a vision. And then you ask the question that are in alignment with that. And the more skilled you become at this, the better you become at this, you're letting go of the mind-body connections, the events that created your anxiety, fear, and doubt. And as you become better at this, now you're creating a repetition and experience. So if you have a real low voice and you're down here in your energy like this, and you're in fight or flight, it's going to inhibit your ability to create the connection. But as you begin to open up, as you begin to feel comfortable, as you begin to transmute your energy from love, joy, and bliss, you're now opening up yourself to the universe. You're opening up a whole different set of circumstances and energy. You're transmuting differently. You're transmuting in a relaxed body. That way you can let anyone go easily and effortlessly without feeling rejected. But if you fumble around with the words and you're saying kindas and guess and I don't knows, you're telegraphing how uncomfortable you are, which will inhibit you from creating the connection you are seeking to create. And the more that you practice the repetition and experience of interviewing, what really assisted me was in my late 20s and 30s, I was hired by Southwestern Bell as a territory rep. And I worked for one of their subsidiary companies Mast Advertising and Publishing in Victorville, California, and I had a territory up here in Stockton, California. I was a territory rep, and my territory was the entire West Coast. So I would drive sometimes 350, 400 miles on a Monday, and I'd come back on a Friday. And in those 4 or 5 days, I would call on over 100 clients. I would close over 100 sales, and I would walk into business to business and let them know that I was the territory sales rep for Southwestern Bell, and I was here to update their yellow page advertising. And there was a whole sequence and a whole method of the way I walked in that business or the way I scheduled that appointment. And there was a whole method and a way that I sat down in front of their desk, and I method sold. And if you learn how to do this, you will see that your law of averages escalate in your ability to qualify people, let them go. So this will show up in how you date, how you hire a contractor, a vendor. This will show up in attracting teammates. This will show up in how you attract friends. And you'll begin to magnetize people to you in a level of energy because you're not in any scarcity. You're not afraid. You're not worried. You're not overwhelmed. You don't have stories about the outcome that hasn't happened, and you're able to easily and effortlessly let go. You won't sabotage the conversations, alienate the relationship because of your own anxiety, fear, and doubt. My name is Jeffery Combs. I am the president and founder of Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. Thank all of you very much for coming back for the second time around. My humble apologies for the disconnection here. But I 3 times and the call is done. So thank you. I appreciate it. This call is recorded and can be rewatched. If you would like to add on to your existing coaching or rehire me to be your coach, feel free to go right up there in Messenger and message me, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. Thank you very much, everyone. This is 1 of 2 for Tuesday. I will be here tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. That would be 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on what would then be Wednesday morning. Good night. Good afternoon, everyone.